There goes Bisbee.
Saving green.
What is going on? How you ninjas doing today on this Whack-A-Granny Wednesday? So we've been just well, I've been knocking them out all morning, and Bisbee just met me and we finished up another 1 or 2 yards in this particular side of town. So what we're doing is, since we're done with this side of town and I've got a couple more yards, and look at Bisbee, look at Bisbee. Since I've got another couple yards in this next part of town, there was no point for me to drive back all the way here, and this is actually in the same direction as, or closer to his house. So he was like, hey, we've done this like 2-3 weeks ago also, like where he followed me, and that way we don't have to drive all the way back here, because today is Wednesday, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, as a lot of he's got school. So, and the sun is bright. So he just meets me when he gets out of school. But I wanted to give you a quick update on Tiny. A lot of you know something's happening with Tiny. Something's going on. I don't know if you guys can hear them tires. Can you hear them tires? Anyway, and I wanted to go ahead and give you an update that Tiny, not this Friday, but next Friday, is leaving me. I am taking Tiny out of town, and he will stay there all weekend. Leaves are coming down. I've literally just about every yard I'm mowing, I'm mulching a lot of leaves and blowing leaves around. And now that I have that stand-on blower, remember how I mentioned when I got it, like it's gonna make me more confident in taking on more leaf jobs. So normally in the past, I would tell all my clients who have a lot of leaves or get a lot of leaves, I would say, hey, I can go ahead and take care of leaves for you, but we have to adjust on the price, of course, because it takes a little bit longer. But now that I have that stand-on blower, I'm not gonna have to do that. I actually can go ahead and tell them, not all of them, you gotta be real smart with this. You can't screw yourself up and say it's the same price as mowing, and then you still end up being there a lot longer, depending on how much leaves and how big of the yard and whatnot. But since I've been doing today nothing but granny yards, I'm going to be touching base. I've already touched base with a few of them, and basically I'm able to now go ahead and tell them that I can go ahead and do their leaf cleanups for the same price as mowing, as long as we stay on the consistent schedule, whether it be a weekly or a bi-weekly. So just another way of how I'm able, and how that stand-on blower is able to generate me more income, and not really have to work twice as hard as I would in the past, or just not do it at all, and my income from those customers would just stop because they can't afford it, or they refuse to pay more, and the mowing slows down. Just goes to show how having certain pieces of equipment really open the doors for you. So keep that in mind next time you are shopping around for a new piece of equipment, whatever that may be. You've been pretty busy, Bee, with your truck, so why don't you walk us through, now that you got it back and it's looking good, what all have you done to it?
I'll put a cam in it, and headers and all that good stuff.
Cam, headers, and did you do something to the exhaust? What'd you do?
Put an X-pipe on it.
X-pipe. It's a clean looking motor right here, man. It's I'm not used to having all this space, so to say, compared to the tiny, but let's start her up and let's see what it sounds like. I'm gonna go ahead and stand back here next to the muffler. Just start it up for now, and let's see how it sounds. Dang, son, you're not kidding. Holy cow, man. That thing sounds mean and scary.
Yeah.
You put a lot of money into this. What was it roughly? Just roughly, with everything?
Between 2 to 3.
So about 3 grand, 2-3 grand. Wow. Holy cow. Now, one thing you guys don't know about Busy Bee, so we're gonna get to know him a little bit more personally now, because all you ninjas see Busy Bee is just quiet, man, a few words, and just doing a little weed whipping, you know, but he loves cars, trucks in particular. He's into this whole thing. He likes to spend money on his vehicle, and I see you've upgraded to the nice rims. And are those the same tires as Tiny?
Yep.
Get out of here, really? Yep. Look at that. Except they're what, 34s?
Yep.
And mine are 35. So Federals, come to find out, they're not American made. They're made for USA, but it is what it is. So yeah, they are the same tires, ninjas. Same grip, same everything. Except my rims are super dirty, and tires, and Busy Bee tries to keep up with that. So why don't you rev it up for us? I want to hear it revved up, man. Just don't scare the people around here.
I'll try not to.
Holy cow, man. I love it, dude.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a lot of money that you put in it. But now what else are you thinking about doing? Because I see you've got a little damage here and stuff. One thing Busy Bee did not notice when you were buying this truck is what? Tell us.
The bed's got a good little dent down through.
Go on the other side and point it out. And you said you didn't even catch this when you bought the truck.
Go straight across right here.
Look at that. Even right here. See? So we'll show you on this side. It's even more. What do you think that is? Like they put something down? Yeah, right there.
They dropped something or something.
Wow. Holy cow. But this is a sweet truck, man. I'm not even a Chevy guy, you know that, but that is a sweet truck. How long have you had this thing?
Probably going on a year now.
Going on a year. I love it. Like a bullet. That's awesome, man. So Busy Bee, you're a hunter, I'm assuming. Yes. Okay, so you do he's a good old country boy, right? Oh yeah, I love the little flag ordeal there. That's nice. A little burnt look. It's a nice truck, man. You should get it repainted completely. Isn't that what you were saying? Okay. Okay. And thanks for the help that you helped a couple hours Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then we're gonna have 2 good days coming up. But anyway, ninjas, I just wanted to show you because you know, I know Busy Bee's really proud of his truck. He really likes this is his little hobby, I guess, you know. Sometimes you know, we know who's got the money. You must be making really good money at your job.
Pretty good.
Well, all right, say bye, Busy Bee.
Bye, Busy Bee.
Bye bye, Busy Bee. All right, ninjas, so Busy Bee's left. Sounds like a formula. And so on the last video we talked about, a lot of you have been asking me about, you know, gaining more accounts. How do you get more growing your business? He's a wild man. And you know, I kind of gave you a little bit tips and things and whatnot, but this will go basically, and I know the question was more of commercially, but this will go for commercially, residential. It doesn't really matter, honestly, at the end of the day, because this is really important. So I want to ask you this one question. What are you selling? What are you selling? When it comes to talking to these customers and trying to lock in and land these jobs, what are you selling? Now you're probably thinking, Nick, don't give me that, but Nick, that's kind of a silly question, Nick. We're a lawn care company, lawn care landscaping company. I sell all kinds of lawn care services. Yeah. But what are you really selling? Why should they hire you? Think about it, ninjas. What is it about you that they should hire you than, for example, me or Billy Bob Jr. over there, right? Why should they hire you? Because at the end of the day, ninjas, you're offering the same thing I am. You're offering the same thing that like everybody else is in your area. What stands out about you? Why should people trust you around their property and their personal belongings, their home, which is the biggest asset anybody could have? I would think so. So when you get a call and you're going to quote a new yard, how do you stand out from the rest? And you've heard this many times over and over, why some people don't want to get into the lawn care landscaping industry, because the competition is surreal and there's so many out here that are doing it and it's really hard to grow. No, it's not. But here's the ordeal. You're selling the same thing that I am, right? Let's say you have the same equipment that I have or anybody else. And let's say, that's not Bisbee, you can do as good of a job as anybody else. Then why should they pick you? What is it about you? Now here's your answer, ninja. So I'm gonna tell you what happened to me just about a week and a half ago or so. Okay, about a week ago. When I went and talked to that new yard that I just landed, right, for everything, leaf cleanup, aeration, and mowing for next season, and shrubbery work and all that. When I pulled up, Bisbee can vouch for this, I got my clipboard, I got my business card, and I even got one of my flyers or door hangers, whatever I had on me, and I wanted to go ahead and give him everything about me. So number one is preparation, right? You have to prepare and present yourself professionally. All right, so when I got all that, I went out, I knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, his wife opened, and I said, you know, may I speak to such and such? And she said, oh yes, so give me just a second. He came out, introduced myself. He said, hey Nick, let's walk around the property and let me tell you everything that I'm looking for and, you know, show you what I'm talking about. I said, okay, sounds good. So as we were walking around, I told him, I said, I'll tell you his name. His name is Larry. I said, Mr. Larry, I said, if you don't mind, as we're talking, I'm gonna write some notes down while you're telling me all this so I don't forget, so I know exactly what you are wanting as I get ready to write all this up for you. He said, sounds good. So I was writing everything down that he was telling me, okay? Leaf cleanups, how often, you know, aeration, overseeding, shrubbery work, detaching, patching. We're gonna call it just patching, okay? So I was writing all these things down. And as we were walking around, we were talking and we hit it off. We talked. We got almost like on a little bit of a personal level. He was asking me where I'm from. He was asking me what I've gone through. I asked him how, you know, he's got a beautiful home. I said, how long have you been here? We even got on the topic of what we have done or what we're doing for a living. And he was telling me what he did for a living and his wife, and I told him that how long I've been doing this and all that good stuff. So there's a car pulling up. So there's all these things we connected on a personal level. Now keep that in mind, ninjas. You cannot do this with all your customers, but you can try, and you'll quickly find out which ones you can and which ones you can't get comfortable, close, and a little bit personal. And when I say personal, I mean don't get too far personal in it. You know, don't be asking kind of personal questions, but go with the flow and feel out your customer as far as if they're willing to open up to you, if they're, you know, what are they sharing, what are they not willing to share, and everything like that. And then we ended up coming to the conversation of him and his wife are babysitting. And I said, oh really? I said, how old? And he goes, well, the young one, the little baby girl is 4 months old. And I forgot how old, I believe there was another boy too. I think older, but I don't remember what the age was. So, you know, and I was like, oh, well, kids are a blessing, man. Kids are absolutely amazing. I said, I have a son of my own. He is our first, and, you know, he's getting ready to turn 3. And I showed him some pictures of Little Ninja, and you know, we just connected on a personal level. Now you're probably thinking, oh, you know, blah, blah, but hold on, I'm going somewhere with this. So as we were wrapping up the evening with him, as it was getting pretty dark, I said, Mr. Larry, I said, I'm really busy the rest of this week. I believe this was on a Wednesday, maybe? Yeah, I think it was a Wednesday. I said, if you can, give me till this weekend and I will write everything out and I'll email you the quote. And he said, that's fine. Here's my email address. I wrote it down, and I had it planned this last weekend to send him everything in the email. I was, you know, gonna sit down, go through my notes and write everything out and get that quote out to him. Well, Thursday or Friday, I get a text from him out of the blue. And the text says, Nick, can you go ahead and give me the quote ASAP? Because I already have a previous guy who's been doing it, or a quote, another quote that he got, and you know, he's planning on starting on Monday, and I really would like your quote before I give him the green light. And that really put me in a little bit of a rush, so to say. I wasn't really comfortable, right? Because I didn't want to just throw out numbers. I planned on sitting down Saturday night or Sunday all day, as we were off Sunday, and write everything out and email it to him. So I thought about that text for a minute before I actually replied to him. So I actually went a few hours without even replying to him right away. I was just mowing. And I finally sat down, I had a minute, and I texted him back. And I said, Larry, I said, I had told you that I'm gonna sit down and write everything out this weekend, so I don't have a quote for you ready. And then I decided to do something that I have never, ever done before. Okay, I would never do this, and I never even thought about doing this, but in the situation that I was in at that very moment, I really wanted to get this quote to him, but I couldn't because I didn't have my numbers together. Now, I had a rough idea what I wanted to charge, but I didn't know exactly. So I texted him back and I said, Larry, I'm not ready. I said, but here's what I wanted to ask you. Okay, I said, because I told myself, I'm gonna go ahead and text him this, and if I get it, so be it. It was meant to be. And if I don't get it, then it wasn't meant to be. But he's pushing me to get a quote a lot sooner than what he agreed, and I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot for it. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. So I told him, I said, Larry, I even said this to him. I said, I never do this normally, but I said, I wanted to go ahead and ask you if you are willing to do this. I said, if you can, send me his prices right now for all the services that we talked about, and I will either A, agree to those prices if they're pretty close to what I already had roughly in my mind, or B, if I need to tweak them a little, I'm gonna tweak some. And that way, I said, we can expedite this quote to you, and then, you know, you can make your decision. Because what I figured is, if he's telling me that this guy was already gonna start on Monday, that means he was already satisfied with his prices. And if I needed to tweak them a little bit, if I just felt like that I really needed to adjust some prices, then I will, and then so be it if I still don't get it. And he didn't reply to me right away for another hour or two, and I felt like, well, maybe that was a wrong move. I took a risk. But then he replies to me about 2-3 hours later and says, Nick, sorry, I'm with the family, I'm busy, but here are his prices. Now, why did this customer go out of his way to send me the other guy's prices just to see if I would agree to those prices or if I need to adjust them a little bit? It tells me that we connected on a personal level, ninjas, and he really wanted my quote. So he sent them to me, and I looked over them, and of course I did have to tweak some of them just a little bit, but overall I was happy with the prices. They were right on point. And so I replied back to him and I said, Larry, thank you so much. I said, these are my prices. I tweaked them a little bit. We expedited this quote so he can get it right then and there, and he can make the decision whether he continues to go along as scheduled with the other guy or he ends up canceling with him and going with me. I sent it back to him. He didn't reply right away. I figured that's because he's with family and he's busy. He responded back a few hours later and said, sounds good, start next week. Now, why, ninjas, did he do this? Why did he literally pick me over this other guy that he already agreed prices with? And not to mention, I had to tweak them and adjust them a little bit. Well, the only thing I can tell you is, and this has happened to me in the last 11 years a couple of times, but this was the most recent, so I'm giving you this particular one, and we're getting ready to do it this upcoming Friday, I believe. He connected with me on a personal level. We had a lot in common. We had great conversations, and I know it's getting dark in here because I'm getting ready to wrap it up here. And I don't know how the other guy presented himself. Maybe he presented himself perfectly and most professionally that you can. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I know what I did. I had a great conversation. I connected with him, and I listened to him, and I shared my story a little bit of what he asked me, and guess what? I got the job. So where I'm going with this, ninjas, is listen to your customers, conversate with your customer. And I wasn't pushy with him. He ended up pushing me for the quote. I wasn't pushy with him. The last thing you can ever do is push to lock them in, whether you do contracts or not. The last thing you do, if you try to force it, push it upon people, people do not like that. Okay, they do not like that, ninjas. So stand out, and what at the end of the day, you're not just selling the service. You're doing the same thing I am and everybody else that's in this industry, but you're selling yourself. You're selling your story. You're selling your personality. You're selling you. And at the end of the day, you know, the old saying is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not because I cut grass just like you and everybody else. It's something happened that he and I clicked, and we connected, and he truly wanted to do business with me. Now this, again, this is just the most recent example, but this has happened to me over the course of last 10, 11 years, several times, just here and there. And you can't do this with everybody, but you will sense and know when you can. All right, so there you go. What are you selling? You're not just selling lawn care. You have to sell yourself. People will connect with your personality. People will connect with you. Because if you got good equipment, you're gonna do as good of a job as anybody else. But there's just something about you, okay? And we all have it. You just gotta dig deep inside and find out what is it about you that you can connect with people, all right? And that, my ninjas, is what's gonna make you ultimately very, very successful in life, no matter what you do. You don't even have to be doing lawn care. You could be doing anything, any kind of business, anything. If you can connect with these people, you will be successful in life. I hope that's helped you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry that there was no mowing footage. Sell yourself to these clients, your personality, and just include the services. Take care.
Saving green.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Saving green.
Peace.
Yeah.